So apparently Jordan Peterson's trying to counter the WEF with his own organization. Have you guys heard the details of that?
Yeah, it's called the Association of International Polite Canadians.
No. It's not.
No,
It's called something else.
I know. No, it sounds like great. He wants to get a bunch of intellectual and governmental people together. And he said that every single place he went to, the response was like, yeah, we'll drop everything. We'll join with you.
So Jordan Peterson proposes alternative to World Economic Forum. Let me see what I can find here. The deep dive proposes WF alternative. Will he be the new Klaus Schwab? I don't know that I want Jordan Peterson leading some fucking like opposing group to Klaus Schwab. He's just like crazy on the opposite side of the coin with some of his views. Although he's better than the fucking WF Davos crowd. It's just like, is he actually completely better? Like, is he the antidote, as he likes to call himself? You know, sort of.
He's kind of nutty too. Which a lot of psychologists are. Like, that doesn't take away from the fact that he's bright and he adds a lot of value to the space, but he's a little unstable too. You've all seen him break down and cry or lose his stuff, or he's like, "Oh, I don't feel good," and then he disappears for a while.
Yeah, and then his views on, like, you know, marriage and the family structure, like, he doesn't offer any real solutions. Like, this is his new outfit here, where he's got like, it's almost like a red pill, blue pill suit, where it's like half and half. Jekyll and Hyde. I don't know, maybe. I don't know where this is going. Like, I really don't know where this is going. I'm gonna have to dive into it because I watched a Joe Rogan clip where he kind of introduced the notion of some of the talking points, and most of them made sense and would probably get support of like most guys out there. But the thing that, you know, where he always loses me is where he starts talking about family units and marriage and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, until you change the fucking laws, it is an absolute slaughterhouse. And any guy with half a brain in his head would not expose himself to that kind of risk ever again. Right. So when are we going to propose a solution to that?
Well, my view on him is, you know, it's kind of the Reagan view. If I agree with 70% of what he says, I agree with that. I mean, if I think 30% of what he says is a bit crazy, then that's that. But he completely and utterly explains the whole tranny kid thing perfectly in that podcast with Rogan. And he was on about one of the activist moms who had a tranny kid and a gay kid. And he just said, statistically, the chances of one household having a trans kid and a gay kid in it is like 7 million to 1. Just some insane. Yeah. So he said, it's not the kids we should be looking at under that roof. It's the mom.
Yeah, it's not common, obviously. There was an @reply tweet here from somebody said, I've not looked into the details, but I'm against global groups of powerful people trying to determine how the rest of us should live. And I fully agree with that. You know, like anybody that's more libertarian basically doesn't want to hear any of this nonsense. It is what it is.
Just want to be left alone.
Yeah, just leave me alone. Stay the fuck out of my life.
Yeah, Joe Rogan's philosophy. Don't be a see you next Tuesday. That's it.
Sometimes you're going to have to band together to be left alone.
Yeah.
You know? I'm going to have to dive into this to see what it's all about. And I don't know, maybe I'll dedicate a show or an Unplugged Alpha show on it and really kind of like dig into it. But I mean, you know, the thing with Jordan Peterson is for every great idea that he's what the hell is that?
Someone's honking.
Okay. Is that like the
this is a dynamic mic.
Killer bees or like the angry wasps or something, like the killer wasp?
This mic normally doesn't pick up background noise, but yeah, I must have gotten it today.
That was crazy. That was like a big buzz. But I mean, like for every 3 or 4 great ideas he's equally got like 1 or 2 that are just like batshit crazy that just are going to completely fuck up people's lives, right?
So he's a bitchy 10 on the intelligence scale.
Yeah. He's definitely unstable. That's for sure. I don't know. I'll have to dive into it and see what it's all about. Purple pilled is what Daniel says he is. Purple pilled and God pilled, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm starting to move away from all those pill type definitions because it seems like there's a lot of in groups and out groups, the subgroups within the overall space. Rich, I know you call it like the mano swamp or the manosphere is what it used to be called, but I get people that reach out to me all the time like, are you blue pill? Are you red pill? Are you this or that? Or it's like, I don't even use that language anymore. Just build an awesome life, like get it all together. I've met up with your guys that have come down here and stayed with me. Like you kind of know what that looks like, and then you start to evolve away from those labels.
Well, it's subject to interpretation, and everybody's going to label their fucking pill with whatever, you know, problem it ends up solving. It's not like you go to like it's not like you buy a supplement and the ingredients are always consistent in it. It's, you know, you open the bottle and you interpret, you know, the pill to solve this problem, whereas I open it and I interpret it to solve that problem. But it's like, you know, the ingredients are, you know, need to remain consistent if you're going to label it that way. That's why this whole pill notion is just fucking stupid. And it's just, you know, people making up, you know, pill colors to identify with their, you know, with their ideologies. It's like, stop it, or, you know, keep doing it because you sound stupid. So you want to know if somebody's dumb? They've got a color pill that they want you to buy. Buy this white one, this purple one, this green one.
There's a buddy of mine in California, a photographer, and he's one of these guys I get on the phone with, and I don't get off for an hour and a half because we discuss theory. Yesterday, he mentioned a book called Thought Reform, not Thought Reform, Thought Reform.
Thought,
and
okay.
it goes into all the details on labeling, on imagery, on all of that stuff used to control. And it just, you know, me and him spoke about it for an hour yesterday because he's just finished reading, and he gave me all the insights into it and how people stifle conversations, silence people, make people paranoid, get people to, you know, get behind labels, movements, everything. It's like, if you've ever read The True Believer by Eric Hoffer on the nature of mass movements, he'll describe mass movements, but this book goes into the psychology of how to get people thinking en masse. It's called Thought Reform.
What do you guys think? Like, I mean, we touched on this briefly, but him crying all the time, like, what's that about? Like, he seems to cry. Like, I'll be honest, like, I will tear up if I read somebody's email and they're like the one email that made me tear up more than anything was that Mexican vet that basically said he was going to jab a horse tranquilizer dart in his leg, and he's like, I didn't, because of, you know, some of the videos that I watched and, you know, like your content like that, like that'll make you tear up. But it seems like every time somebody says something that, you know, pulls on his heartstrings, he starts crying. I don't know if he's got a bad hormone panel or if he's like there's something wrong with him, but he cries a lot. What's up with that? It
sounds like it. I've told guys that when you're, because Rich, you've talked about using an aromatase inhibitor or not, and I fell in. I used to always use one, and then I got to the point where, like, okay, I can back off the test a bit. It actually keeps me a little leaner too, because with the estrogen, the part that does aromatase, it holds more water, and you get more of that. So I keep my test maybe a little down than what I used to run it at, just to reduce the water retention and whatnot. But I'll notice that if especially for guys on TRT, if your test, if it gets a little high, or let's say sometimes it's real hard in the syringe to get it like exactly on there, so you'll get a little bit over. But I always say that I can feel like once you start out of nowhere, you start getting like an itchy nipple for a couple seconds, or you start tearing up in a sad part in a movie where normally you wouldn't care. Then it's like, all right, I should probably look at my estrogen here. It's been years since I've had that happen. I've got that dialed in now, but I think it probably does have to do with something hormonally. And I actually had a guy reach out to me the other day. So the notion of men crying, which I get it, especially growing up in the 90s, like, oh, men need to be sensitive. Yeah, that's all a bunch of nonsense. But I think guys get confused sometimes. I had a guy reach out the other day, and he's like, hey, I'm going to my dad's funeral. Is it okay to cry? I'm like, dude, of course it's okay to cry at a funeral. Like, what are you talking about? But I've noticed for me personally, I don't ever cry at funerals or when I'm sad. I cry when I'm happy for whatever reason. Like, if something just amazing happens, like, I'll start to tear up, and I don't know why. I'm like, okay, like,
it's like,
awesome.
It's like tears of joy, not really sadness. But does anybody know if he's on TRT? Like, has he ever announced? Has he said anything? I mean, he doesn't look. I mean, he's not out of shape. He's very lean. Like, he's very thin.
He's on that all meat diet. He eats nothing but meat for the autoimmune stuff.
Right. He's got the same thing his daughter has. Apparently.
What, raging tot?
I don't know. I don't know how so many people take her so seriously. I mean, you know, God bless her for broadcasting and doing whatever she's doing, if it helps anybody. But, you know, the amount of people that look past her past is just shocking too.
And you know what was the big red flag when he first came on the scene, and he was like, "Oh, my daughter's gotten, you know, and her first picture of was I'm getting healthy." And it was a snapshot of, like, it was the first time I ever saw her on social media, and it was like, "Oh, I'm getting healthy, I'm back on track." And it was a picture, it was a bikini shot. And I'm like, whoa. I said, that's, you know, that's not what you do when you're getting healthy. You know,
Yeah.
unless you were 300 pounds and you finally got into a bikini. But this was like, here, I need an excuse to post me in a bikini.
Yeah. This is a picture of me half naked.
If you're 300 pounds and you're getting a bikini, you're gonna have a loose skin issue. Which guys that work with me, they're like, "Oh, I have 100 pounds to lose." You gotta take that into consideration. You're losing a lot of weight real quick. You're gonna have some loose skin, and women oftentimes get it worse than men do. Actually.
Yeah. I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full-length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here and pin down below in the top comment. You'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line, books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.